Hey, good morning, guys. Hope everybody had a good weekend. So, a lot of talk, we've been going back and forth this morning with Bitcoin and Bitcoin Cash. So, you know, it's important to kind of keep an eye on the different rhetoric and kind of understand what, you know, what's the main drivers in the market or what the thinking is and consensus and what everybody's focused on. But at the end of the day, we just keep trading the model. So when we look at the daily chart here, making the call that we could rally to 7,500 and then you'd want to be a seller turned out to be pretty much spot on. I mean, we traded just basically 7,500 one day and then backed right off. We had that intraday move to new high also, but we couldn't close above 7,500. And then we got this collapse, and this basically came with the daily cycle. And don't forget, guys, we talked about the weekly. We were 8-9 weeks up off this higher low or the pivot low, and we wanted to be taking profit up there. So that's been the right call. And then look, we basically pulled back towards the 8, which was again what we talked about, being up here extended from the 8. There's room you can pull back. And so the way you want to play this is, we're taking half or maybe more off on the core long up here. And then if you sell well, you kind of earn the right to go back in and buy a little bit lower. But this isn't a heavy buy, okay? This is just, we need to see the intermediate term turn back up. And one of the easiest ways to see the intermediate term is follow the 8, the direction of the 8 on the daily. So with our model being fractal, meaning that the underlying time frames, a lot of these points on the daily chart, let me just show you what I'm talking about. So when we look at the daily chart, the direction of the 8 is going to show you the underlying intermediate term trend. Okay, so we want to just kind of follow. Is the 8 rising? Yes. Okay. So here we have a rising long-term bull uptrend, right? Bullish uptrend. Then we also have the 8 that's rising. That's showing the intermediate term uptrend. Well, once we start to break below the 8, we start to roll into a long-term uptrend, but there's an intermediate term downtrend within the context of this longer-term uptrend. So that requires a little bit of fancy footwork. Sometimes you want to play defense. You got to be patient and look for these other points to buy. But down here, guys, on the bands, this is going to be the same area on like the 4-hour as your pie. So this was a logical place after breaking the 8 for the market to test. And so far we held it. So we held the trend longer term, which you can see. These are our higher lows right now on the daily chart. So we're still in trend here. You're making higher lows, right? This is higher than that low. So the market hasn't done anything wrong from a trend perspective on the daily chart, but we are trapped between this intermediate term downtrend right here that started, all right, and the longer term uptrend. So this bounce now back up this wall that was created from the highs. We're going to have to see how price reacts right here. If you get, because basically the market's moved down, it's bounced. Now we'll see whether or not it makes a lower high right around this level. And then you could either retest the lows. I mean, lots of things could happen. You could break this low. You could base like this and then turn back up. So what you want to watch on the intermediate term, guys, is this. You can see it now on the 4-hour and hourly. Notice when I was saying that the 8 broke on the daily, this is the same spot where the band started to roll negative here. So you see how we're all going this direction now? So it depends how you play it. I mean, if I was taking profit up here, even down here, bought a little bit here, but said, you know what, it couldn't hold. I spit that back out. And then I wish I would have bidding into these lows, but managed to buy a little bit here. And then as we pull back within the range of this bullish wall here, you want to be a buyer. That's why we were buying yesterday. And now you bounce back to the bands up here, you want to take some off. So when you get these intermediate term pullbacks within the long-term uptrend, you gotta trade it around. So if you buy something well here, like down here, you don't want to be afraid to realize some profit back at the bands here, because we are in this downtrend now. This is a lower low relative to here. We're making lower highs. So you've got this intermediate term downtrend here. So to get this back bullish, what I was saying on the 30-minute chart, I think in a reply to Dave, was that we have a phase 2 higher low and you need higher highs now. So we still not out of the woods. I mean, you gotta probably make a lower high here, come back down. Maybe we get another higher low. But the key thing to watch is you got to start making higher highs. So we got to, right now this is a bounce to a lower high. I'd like to see us come back off, and then like if you were to take out that pivot, once you create it by moving away from it, then you could confirm a new uptrend. But we don't have that just yet. I won't get into what a phase 2 lower low is. I think some of you guys that are starting to want to learn the model, you're going to learn that stuff, what a phase 2 lower low is. So yeah, I'd encourage you guys, if you want to do that. There's only 4 ways a market can top or bottom. It's basically just 4 patterns. Two of these 4 patterns has a variation. So it's really closer to 6 ways a market can bottom, but it's just a slight variation on these other 2 of the main 4. So there's things like that once you recognize, you can say, all right, we're still making lower lows. It's tough to be a buyer into lower lows in any aggressive fashion. But you'll start to understand what that looks like. And then you can be more confident knowing the market's kind of back in an uptrend or not. I don't know if we want to explain that anymore. We go to the 30-minute. I mean, essentially, here's the lower lows, all right, lower highs, and then this area right here, still not quite making new higher highs yet. You're trying to make a higher high above here. And then this is our phase 2 right here. You failed to make the lower low. That's a phase 2 low. And then we'll see if we get phase 3 here with higher highs. But you got pi right up here, so that's why I was taking some off after these buys, because you got pi up here. You've had a pretty good bounce off the low. So anyway, guys, I'll keep you updated. Hope that helps.